YouTube. I'm gonna build a keyboard or two. Pinky4. It's the same model I've been using for a few years. Split, ergonomic, columnar, stagger. Uses chalks for the thumb cluster, MX for the rest, so that the thumb keys are a bit lower. So I got these kits because I liked my keyboard so much, but then I never built them. They've just been sitting around. Recently I've been thinking I'd like to have a spare keyboard, maybe one to keep in a backpack for when I leave the house, so I don't have to take out my main keyboard. I wrote some basic steps I have to do here, mostly because I'm recording with my phone, so I won't be able to look stuff up easily. So I gotta bridge the jumpers, which is this thing right here. I'm not really sure why that has to be done manually. It's something to do with the master slave setup, like left half master, right half gets the stuff from the left via the cable. In all the guides I saw and the Tamanishi GitHub repo were like, oh yeah, you probably gotta bridge the jumper. So there's probably like a specific more advanced setup where you don't have to bridge it. But I checked mine and it was bridged on both of them. Everything I need is in one of these, so that was a whole nother keyboard's worth of stuff. They've got 2 PCBs in there for the 2 halves. I got these chalks. I got these for the flat box builds. They're like some sort of silver something switch, linear, I believe. And then I've got a bunch of the Gazoo Boba switches. And a bunch of keycaps from My Keyboards. I think they renamed their site. I can't remember what the new name is. But yeah. And I believe this is enough keycaps for 2 full builds. And they don't appear to be the same profile. These white ones look like what I use in my main keyboard with the blue keycaps. It's in a video where I did a typing test. The pink ones, those might just be DSA. I don't know if they're labeled. So it'd be weird to mix them, so I'll do one white keyboard, one pink keyboard probably. I was worried for a while that I didn't have any keycaps to use when I was digging through my piles of junk to find all these pieces. But I must have thought ahead, so that's good. I think this actual build in real time will take several hours, so I probably will not record the whole thing, but I'm just gonna try to get some footage, and maybe I'll pause the recording a few times, see if I can get like, oh, here's a diode soldered in, here's a hot swap socket soldered in, and so on. And I don't know how long my camera app will let me stay paused, so maybe I'll have to do separate videos. Alright. Guess I just gotta cut this open. We're starting with diodes, so I'll cut into that. Maybe I should have cut in from the side. Do I have a scissors? Got my micro cutters. Okay, that should be good. I think I 3D printed a diode bender a long time ago, but I don't know that I could find it in a reasonable amount of time. It's probably on this table, but there's like actually a lot of stuff around here. Wait, I see something. Is this it? This might actually be it. I don't remember if this is all you need or if there's a second piece. Oh, I see something. There's that. Okay. It's a pretty rough print. Like, I think there's still support material in there. I don't know if this is usable as it is. I also don't remember how to use it. But these diodes, you basically want to do two 90-degree bends as close to the middle as possible. Or maybe not as close to the middle as possible. But like that far apart, because they gotta go through the two holes. Okay, so probably not gonna use that. But if you have a 3D printer and you kind of know what you're doing with it, I think I found this on Thingiverse. Search diode bender, maybe it'll save you some time if you can get the print to come out well. Gonna need the main PCBs out as well. I was considering labeling these left and right and top and bottom, but maybe it doesn't matter that much, or it'll be obvious enough. Because when I built my first one, I made a mistake. Hang on, why does this look weird? Okay, yeah, that's how it's supposed to look. So there are these white rectangles around where the pins of the microcontroller go. And if you notice, on the left half, they're the top two, and on the right half, they're the bottom two. I believe what I screwed up on my original is I did the right half the same as the left half, and kind of just didn't pay attention to the rectangle. And then the right half didn't work at all. And I had to desolder all those pins, which was an absolute nightmare and took me days and lots of tools and help from several people. But I'm a lot more experienced now, so hopefully I won't make that mistake again. I wonder if I should adjust the camera a little. Be good. Okay, I'll pause the recording for a second and try to get stuff in order a little bit. Okay, I haven't done that much. I just started to cut these so they're easy to get out of there. I'm going to do the jumpers on both halves first. Where's my USB cable? I think I buried it. Okay, hang on a sec. Let me pause again. Okay, I found it. It was like way back there for some reason. This is a Pinky4 V1. Same thing I built my first keyboard kit with, although the tip is different now. I used the stock tip originally, and then I bought a bunch more tips later. This one's a chisel tip, I think. I don't know what my temp is set to. Let me check. 380, that's probably fine. I usually am somewhere in the like 350 to 400 Celsius range. I'm using leaded solder, the usual stuff. 6337 tin lead. Tin lead tip. How does it look with this light off? Because mine, okay, so. I have brighter lights like for the room than a few weeks ago. So this like ring light overhead might be overkill, I don't know. Alright, gonna do the jumpers. Just need a blob right there, I believe. Nothing crazy. I'll probably use the fume extractor once I get going. Hopefully that noise won't be too bad. How did I have this cable right before? Okay. So let's just say this is the right half now. And I'm gonna start with the left half. So here the diodes are in this tape, and I cut them between them, because then you can pull them out like that. Works well enough. I think I did like 10 of them to start with. And you just need one for each key switch. And you gotta take the tape off of the other ends too. Okay, what did I write? Solder diodes on from bottom, legs on top. So I believe then the legs will come out and be soldered on from the top. But the body will be on the bottom. Triangle points to dark bar. There's the triangle. And then there's the dark bar. So it will go this way. And we gotta bend those legs to go in those holes. So I'm just doing this by hand. Yeah, kind of lopsided. Let's see how that goes. Not great. Hang on. Yeah, this is why the diode bender would have been nice if I could use it. This is probably going to be the biggest time sink of the whole thing. Oh my god. Yeah, this looks kind of like a mess. Oh wait, we got something. This looks good now. Okay. So basically I want it in there like that. And then on the other side, you can bend the legs out like that to kind of hold it in for easier soldering. And then you trim them when you're done. So I'm going to do one of those quick. Wake the iron back up. Wait till it's hot. I wonder why there are pads. Maybe for an SMD diode. Interesting. Okay. So like that, and it's still, I mean, it's not like perfectly flush, but it's probably good enough. Then you take your micro cutter, hold the leg, cut it as close to the solder point as you can. This one's a little weird. What did I do there? It's just at a crazy angle. Okay. Then it looks like that. 2 small bumps. And I'd actually recommend saving these legs. They're a useful thickness. They can act as pins in a common sized socket. So like that's kind of what I have here in this little bag. I did throw out a bunch of these when I did my first build, but then later I saw someone recommend saving them. They're kind of hard to pick up. I needed tweezers or a magnet. Where are my tweezers? Alright, here we go. So yeah, just stick them in there. That might be useful later. Alright, now I'll pause for a bit. We'll see how long it'll let me pause, and I'll do a few more maybe. It'd be nice to also get the hot swap soldering on camera. But I think ideally you do all the diodes before you do the hot swap sockets. Well, maybe I'll get one out and just do it. It's probably fine. Okay, hang on a sec. Alright, so these are the hot swap sockets. Let me get them out. Okay, so they're in this thing. It's called like tape and reel or something. They're actually pretty loose in there, and there's just a big thing of plasticky tape on top. So basically, if you're not careful, all of them will go flying. I usually like to slowly peel back, and then I can like dump out a few. I did not write the orientation for the sockets, but I believe I can figure out how they go on. Like that. That fits in the holes, and then the switch legs go in there instead of in the soldery ones. Is that how it goes? Hang on. No, it has to match the white footprint. Okay. Pick up the iron again. Once I get one of these legs in, then I can work on doing a better job after. Flux might make this easier, I don't know. I didn't use flux in my original build. You know, besides the stuff that's included in the solder. So I heat the like outer metal pocket part and then I feed the solder in, and you want to let it like flow thoroughly. Oh Jesus. Might be too much solder, but it's probably fine. So that's one side, and now it's not loose. And you also want to make sure it stays flat and flush if you can. Push down on your soldering, or push down once it's got one side down, and reflow, make sure it's flat. You know, like this. And then once it's like in stably, it's easier to do the other side. You might even want to do one side of like a whole row or column of the sockets, and then go back and do the other side after. So that should be good now, I believe. And then you gotta do that for all these, the diode and the socket. Okay, now I'll pause again and work on some more of the diodes. Okay, here I've pre-bent a bunch now. So we got 9 there. So I can do the rest of this, and this, and like half of this. Let me get those inserted. Okay, I've got a few in that aren't soldered. 1, 2, 3. Because the legs kind of splay out to the sides, you might not want to do adjacent columns at the same time. Either do one and then set up the next, or you could do every other. So here's how they look on the other side. Now let's see if we can do these kind of quick back to back. So that's how I'd probably recommend doing the bulk of the board, kind of assembly line style like that. So those are probably good and could be trimmed. The solder might be going up a bit far on that one. I might go back and retrim some of these later that aren't behaving, because you don't want them to stick out too much. I think the kit might come with a few extra diodes in case you mess any up or lose them. I can't remember for sure. had coffee today, so my hands are probably a bit shaky. Yeah, that's not trimmed that well. I mean, it's okay if like your cutters aren't very good, but these ones are actually pretty good, so should be able to do better. You might want to wear eye protection for this, by the way, especially if you're not holding the leg, because then it can go flying. And you might want to be prepared to vacuum after this if stuff does go flying. So that's one column of the 4 switches done. And then you just repeat for the rest. The thumb cluster is slightly different, but like not by a lot probably. Because you can see the footprint that Chalks use a different hot swap socket. But it's like made by the same people and the idea is the same. Line it up, solder it in, make sure it's flat. Alright, so now I could either do the hot swaps vac column or continue with the diodes. I'm probably going to continue with the diodes. I just wanted to get a good variety of stuff recorded. And you can kind of assembly line do the hot swaps as well, like put a bunch in loose, do one side, and then go back and finish them. I guess I'll pause this again and see if I find anything else I want to include, otherwise I'll just stop it in a bit. Hang on a sec, I might have done this wrong. I wish I had written more detailed notes. If this is the top, you actually don't want the socket there, that's the bottom of the socket. I think I wanted everything that juts out on the bottom, and this was supposed to be the left half. So with the left half you go like this. Yeah, I think I actually had to take that out. So I will record taking that out. I've never actually removed one of these before. Hopefully it's not too hard. It might be hard. Can I push this out from the other side with something? Maybe if I go like this. We're getting into should have had helping hands territory here. Oh, we're getting somewhere. Nice. And I do want to clean this up probably a little bit. I'll be able to just scrape away with the iron. I do have solder wick, but I kind of hate this stuff. I don't know if it's worth firing up the desoldering gun. I think it's okay to have straight solder on those points. They're not connecting anything now. Okay. I think it's still in okay shape. So now can I just plop it in from the other side? Okay. Yeah, it's confusing with all the things that can go in 2 different ways, but you only really want them one way. So it should be pretty similar to the first time First I'm gonna try to get it flush. One side still has a huge solder ball on it, the other one was pretty much clean. I'll add more solder in a sec. I just want to get like a basic connection going. Okay, that's on there now. I don't even know if I gotta add solder this side, but I'll add a little. Oh, let me hold this down and reflow. I thought I might have seen some wiggle. It's hot, hot, hot. And it's a ton of solder. Probably not necessary to use that much, but hopefully it won't hurt. So now, minus the pads being full of solder there, it should look like those gold squares. This is how it'll look then. The top side is the left half. Should look pretty flat. And then you'll shove your key switch down flush. Which I think I could do right now to demonstrate. So you got the 2 pins or legs or whatever, and you want to line them up. So one goes there, one goes there. Support the hot swap socket from the back. Push it in. And then, it's probably hard to see, but the switch pins should be kind of visible through those holes then. And then there you go. That's how it'll kind of all look. You can pull it back out if you want to change the switch or clean it or whatever. Alright, now that I fix that, back to work for real.